Many Americans juggle multiple different relationships, jobs, responsibilities, personal hobbies, and interests. Finding the balance between all of the chaos around us can be difficult. It can put a huge dent on not only our physical health, but our mental health as well. Over a long period of time, stress can do damage to our immune systems and mental well-being. Symptoms such as anxiety, depression, fatigue, and sleep problems plague more than half of all Americans. Many of us find ourselves wondering how we get off balance after we think we've got life all figured out. We start to fall into this spiral of what feels like self-destruction. This is a term we call the rabbit hole conundrum. Let's take Alice, for example. She's a former high school student who just graduated. Not knowing what her next step should be, she turns to college because she feels that's what everyone has to do post-graduation. Once throwing herself into a university, she realizes how much her student loans are and decides to get a job. Formerly someone who was actively in sports with a high GPA and a large social group, now she finds herself not being able to find the balance she once had back in high school. She starts skipping classes to make more money. Alice begins going out more frequently to parties to let off steam from her stressful boss and to avoid the guilt she feels from skipping her classes. Soon she finds out she's failing more than a couple of her classes and feels like her life is falling apart. She wants to ask her family for advice, but doesn't want to admit that she's skipped more than a few classes because she feels so overwhelmed. She also sees on social media that her peers are doing great with their classes and even going on extremely fun vacations that she can't afford. Feeling alone and defeated, Alice has fallen down the rabbit hole. So how does Alice get out of the rabbit hole? How does she find a balance of work, school, friends, family, plus her own personal interests? To begin to find her way out of the rabbit hole conundrum, she opens up to her mom. Her mom tells her it's okay to not have a perfectly balanced life and encourages her to seek therapy due to her anxiety and depression she's developed over the past few months. Alice goes into therapy fully ready to be honest and open about how she's been feeling and what has happened since she started college. Her therapist begins by telling her that this is normal, not only for people her age, but of all Americans. She also lets Alice know that if she finds herself falling down the rabbit hole again, that's okay too. She learns that not everything needs an equal amount of attention. Some things need more attention than others. She decides to let her boss know that she can only work a set amount of hours. She also opens up to her friends about her struggles and lets them know she won't be going to as many parties because of it. Her friends open up to her as well to let her know that they've been struggling too with finding a balance. Alice isn't the only one who finds herself falling down the rabbit hole. If you find that your life is out of balance, just like Alice, just know that there's hope. It's important to realize that when you're out of balance to the point where it affects your health, take a step back. Look at your life from one big picture and ask yourself if things are out of control. Remember, you can say no. Make time for yourself to meditate, as it will relieve stress and help find your balance again. If you need to talk to someone, there's always someone available when you can get to a point where things are too overwhelming, are really stressed out, way too deep down the rabbit hole, far, far away from the world and on edge. You're not the only one. There's always help.